Well, Pete's here, senior football journalist. I get called senior, but that's only when I have moments. Let's start with Rashford then, Zoe. Some encouraging signs here.
Yeah, definitely, Rob. Maybe, well overdue as well, because this is a player who had no shots in his first 3 games of this season. But when we saw during the international break, when he wasn't selected for England, him working hard with his own personal trainer, and he came back with that goal against Southampton. You see the picture of that on the far side there. Shot through the crowd of bodies, just found the bottom corner. And I think, Rob, it's just amazing what a goal can do for confidence, really. And I think that's what we saw last night from Marcus Rashford, a player who, as we said, wasn't having shots. He had 6 of them last night against Barnsley, so 10 in his last 2 games now. And I think he's that sort of player, really, Rob, that once he's in his flow, once he's confident, once he's smiling, as we heard Erik Ten Hag say there, he's a real proposition, dangerous proposition for opposition teams.
Certainly is. OK, then. 3 goals in 2 games that we saw. Is it too early to say that we've seen a transformation in him back to his best?
I think it is. I think a couple of reasons. I think Southampton, bottom of the Premier League table, or just second bottom above Everton, and obviously Barnsley, a League One side. So you've got to factor in the quality of the opposition. I think when we go back to a couple of seasons ago for Rashford, when he scored those 30 goals, it was about consistency that we saw from him over that, particularly the second half of that season. So I think that's what we'll be looking to see from Marcus Rashford. But certainly, he's a player who historically has taken that confidence and belief and run with it when he has got up and running. And we saw last night his touch map, and actually he was playing a slightly different position to, I guess, what would be his favoured position on the left side of Man United's attack. He was playing in a more central area, as you can see from his touches there, but plenty on the right side as well, and that's where his first goal came from. So I think last night it wasn't so much about where he was playing, it was just about having that confidence and that drive really to go forwards, which we hadn't seen from him in those first 3 games of this season.
Yeah, and these touches in the box here, I would think, would be music to the ears of Ten Hag and others. Back-to-back wins now. So as far as United in general, are they heading in the right direction?
Yeah, a bit like Marcus Rashford, isn't it? You've got to take the opposition into account, but certainly they were results that Ten Hag and United needed at that point. And actually, last night's result was the biggest win that they've had under Ten Hag so far, perhaps unsurprisingly, that's 7-0. They beat Real Betis 4-1. This was in Ten Hag's first season, both these results against Betis and Chelsea. Betis won in the Europa League, and then Chelsea, that actually confirmed them getting into the Champions League places at the end of the season, so an important victory for them then. And Rashford scored in each of these games as well, which I think is maybe an important point in terms of where they're going. And where they're going this Saturday is Crystal Palace away. And I just wonder, Erik Ten Hag, seeing what Rashford's produced these last 2 games, has he got a bit of a selection dilemma up there? We said about Rashford playing through the middle last night. Xerxes will be pushing for a start. Højlund's not far from returning to fitness as well. Garnacho, 2 goals and 2 assists last night from that left side that we know Rashford likes to operate in. So Erik Ten Hag's got good problems, perhaps, going into the weekend in terms of his selection decisions.
Former Manchester United striker Anthony Martial.
Yeah, he's agreed to join Greek side AEK Athens, and yeah, he'll arrive in Greece tonight ahead of the move. We thought we were done with all the transfers there, but there we go, on his way to play in Greece. Anthony Martial.
It was the first game of the weekend, Southampton against Manchester United. Southampton, one of only 2 teams without a point. Manchester United coming off back-to-back defeats, that poor defeat against Liverpool. I think Rebecca asked me at the start of the day, what's most important, the performance or the result? And I said, result every day, every week, right where they are. Listen, performances can come. They did get the result. They got 3 goals. It was, I wouldn't say comfortable, but it was United without too many dramas, I think, against this Southampton team that faded away and down to 10 men in the end. But a good 3 points for Erik Ten Hag and a good 3 points for Manchester United. And you kind of feel like just winning some games and getting a bit of confidence and a bit of momentum is where United are right now.
Yeah, I know it wasn't brilliant, particularly in the first half, but there's still moments, but I'm saying different. I'm not talking about the moments where they've had before last season, where somebody will come inside and bang in the top corner. There's moments in games where the combination play and the link-up play is quite good. Is really good. And I thought Joshua Zirkzee is interesting. I think he's still young. I think he's only 23 or something. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I thought he had a good game, Rob. I thought he had a good game. He holds the ball up well. He had a chance. He had a sitter he should have scored. He had a couple of big chances. We saw Ericsson come into midfield. De Ligt get his goal after a difficult international break where he was getting hammered a little bit in terms of his performance for the national team, which is not ideal. But I've said it now for a few weeks with Erik ten Hag in this particular phase of his career. There is that with these players that have been brought in that I think most people like, and I think they could be really useful. We saw Agate play. He came on, got some late minutes in the game. He's going to be different in midfield for them. I just think it's going to be a little bit of a slow burner. I'm not going to be reacting strongly over the next few weeks as I see this team evolving, because it is evolving. It's very different. Ahmad came back in for Garnacho. Rashford gets his goal. He's still under pressure for me, in my opinion, for Garnacho to play on that side.
Yeah.
But, with the midfield getting beefed up a little bit now, Mainoo's going to get better. The defensive line, 3 of the 4, is going to be different. Zirkzee offers something a little bit different. Rasmus Højlund's to come back into the side as well. Luke Shaw is a really good left back. So, it's a positive result, of course, but there's other signs in there that I kind of liked in terms of how they're gelling together and few moments of combination passes that look, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So I just think there's signs there that there's something better, and it probably is as these new signings get integrated, Rob, and find their feet, and the younger players get a few more games. It is going to be about how these Mazraoui's fitted in, lovely Rob, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks right back. So much better. Yeah.
So I kind of positive. I thought it was not just obviously a good result 3-0. Southampton are doing their thing at the moment, and they're finding it difficult.
Yeah.
But I thought United were improving in the game.
Yeah, and I agree with. I think Bex asked me again during the day about Ten Hag and his position and must-they win, and I said I think we've got to stop thinking week by week and trying to make decisions on Manchester United. I get the sense that this ownership group is going to give this guy time, and so they're going to lose a couple of games. And I don't think Ronaldo came out last week, didn't he, with the big opinions about what they should do, and everybody in the press has got their opinions and whatever, and trying to have a dig. And this guy's going to be given time, and quite rightly, I think he's going to give him time to integrate all the players that he bought, players he wants. I think there's going to be time to get the system and style of play that they want. And I think there'll be time. I almost feel like Erik ten Hag should be almost feeling as comfortable as he has for Manchester United, because they're not going to hire and fire in a way that others might have. If they wanted to get rid of him, they could have done. I get the sense he's got a Christmas at the very earliest, and if not a season, to see how he does. And if things don't go the way they want, I'm sure then they'll make the moves. But I get the sense they want to give him every opportunity to succeed. And a win at Southampton, listen, is a win that you would expect from a Manchester United team. But I do feel as though, a bit like you, there's some building blocks in place, and given the right time and allowed to develop it, we could see we could get back to an exciting Manchester United who can start to compete in this league more than just contend. Yeah,
I mean, again, I would have expected a change in the summer, Rob, to go with all the other changes. They didn't do it. And if people like us are sort of saying that the hierarchy and the background's been awful at Man United, director of football, the players they've signed, they've absolutely changed all that. So, okay, then you want this guy to continue. Well, there is a different a type of player coming in now. We should give him an opportunity to work with these players that seem to be more ready to go, Rob. Better age, better profile for a club like United. Let's see how he does with them. So like you said, there's a certain amount of time. It's like, okay, let's see it, and then when we've had a good few months seeing it, then we can see, is this progressing or whether it's not. If it's not progressing when all these players are fit and playing, then that's a big problem for the manager. But we're not there yet, and let's just wait and see how he brings his team on.
Yeah, not another good day for Russell Martin and his team. Up another 3 goals conceded, yet to get a point this season. He's very wedded to the possession game, and I like that, and I like what he's trying to do. Might have to tweak it a little bit, Rob, in terms of at times just mix it up a little bit more. You come into a league with better players, with better quality, with depth of squad. You've got to find a way to get some points on the board and give yourselves a chance, and that's the thing.